Hey, so I wanted to do some real life examples of what I mean when I say correct yourself, reward your dog, and how you can apply that in training. So today's example is brought to you by my little one Kitsune, who started popping up from her downs. So if I ask her to lay down, she gets up really quickly. She doesn't stay until she gets a treat. It's a pretty common thing with puppies. Some puppies struggle learning down altogether. So first thing is, it might be your instinct, and you've probably heard somewhere on a TV show or from another trainer that your dog is being stubborn, being dominant, being disobedient, because they know they should down. And that them getting up is doing something wrong. But it really isn't. So dogs do what work for them. So a good way to start is first, always look at medical. So dogs will do what they can to avoid pain. So if they're not comfortable doing a sit or laying down, jumping up on something, is there something physical in them that's stopping them? And that is actually Kitsune's case. She has some scar tissue in her front ankles, and laying down started to cause her some pain, so she didn't feel comfortable. She didn't want to commit to the down in case she had to pop up and it was going to hurt. So that's been medically addressed. She's on medication and has exercises for it. So you always want to look at the medical first. Then we want to look at environmental and emotional states. So especially with simple things like down or sit, it may seem simple, but to them there can be a lot in the environment that's causing them some stress. So if they're on a smooth surface, they could feel unstable, which could also lend into some pain. If your body language is intimidating, not on purpose, just by accident, like leaning over them, your stance if you're a very tall person, they could feel concerned and not want to be so close to you. And environmental stressors. So some people think the environment's too distracting, but you really have to look at what those distractions are. So laying down, super compromising position for dogs. They're not going to lay down in a group of dogs unless they're really comfortable. So you're cueing them down at the dog park when they're not comfortable there yet. That's asking so much. That's asking more than they can give. So we need to address those fears and discomforts first. And to do that, you want to reach out to someone who does behavior consultations or specializes in behavior like myself. Or if you're in a different area than Edmonton, I can refer you to someone, because you want to really tackle that problem, not the down. Now, after those are taken out of the picture, all that's left is they're working for what's reinforcing them, which is likely the food, which is likely how you're presenting the treats that's popping them up. So we can fix that with clarity and training. And that's when we get to the fun stuff. And we'll correct ourselves there too. But we want to get those first things out of the way. You want to address medical and behavior issues before you work on training. Okay, Kitsune's going to help me demo. So the biggest thing I see, Kitsune, come on. Thanks. Sit down. The biggest mistake humans make is they accidentally lure. So if I go bring the treat from above to reward her down, she's going to hop up to get the down. I'm going to give her the treat anyway, because that was my fault. Down. If you want to make sure you're not confusing them, deliver the treat in a way that lets them hold the position. Yes, good girl. We can add in distractions later so that that lure doesn't make them pop up, but it is not their fault. If they see that treat and come up, if you haven't trained it, that's on you. Get them down. Another trick is taking a few treats in your hand at once. So instead of them getting a treat and thinking they're done, they get a couple, enjoying they're getting their snacks, and then you can use a release cue. Okay. And tell them now it's free to move. So that they're not getting out on their own and thinking a treat means they're done. So yeah, if you have any questions about this particular case, drop it in the comments. And if you have anything you'd like to see how I would apply that, shoot me a DM and maybe I'll try and film a video for that if I have a dog that's happy to cooperate. But I just want you guys to remember not to frame things as your dog's fault. They're just learning. We're our guide, their guide in the whole world. So you always want to address, are their needs met? Are they feeling pain? Are they feeling fear? Are they feeling stress? And handle that first, and then look at how we are teaching them and make sure they're actually learning what we think they are, and not setting them up to fail and then punishing them for it, because it's just not necessary. We can teach them what we want them to do.